Everyone, how are we doing today?
Wonderful.
I'm doing woo. Also, thank you for asking. My name is David. I'm one of the senior wildlife care specialists right here at Historic Wagaforth Bowl. And I'm here to tell you that the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance is committed to saving species worldwide by uniting our expertise in animal care and wildlife conservation with our dedication to inspiring a passion for nature. We integrate wildlife health, care, science, and education to develop sustainable conservation solutions. Our conservation efforts are focused in 8 conservation hubs all around the world. These are geographic regions where we think we can make the greatest impact. Those hubs are the Pacific Islands, Southwest, Amazonia, African forest, savanna, Asia, and the Australian forest, because we believe that conservation starts with the connection that we make with people and wildlife every single day, and that's exactly what we hope to do. Are you all ready to meet some wildlife?
Yes.
What a lovely little Wednesday group. All right, we're going to start with our Amazonia Conservation Hub, where the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance and our allies focus our work on wildlife like the Andean bear, the jaguar, New World monkeys, and plant life like the beautiful orchid. Now, this next colorful group definitely need the trees to survive. Please put your eyes to the skies as we welcome in our beautiful, free-flighted flock of macaws. First up, we have our blue and gold macaws. That is Sierra and Azul. Now flying on in, we have our scarlets.
Whoa.
That is Cielo and Sol. The two of those pairs are both bonded pairs, so they will stay together for the rest of their lives. Swooping on in front of me is Diego. He is a green-winged macaw, and he is one of the bachelors in our group. Now, those loud screams and squawks that you hear while they are out here is not them trying to recite my lines. That is how they communicate in the thick rainforest where they rain from. Now, while they are out here, they're getting some of their favorite things, oftentimes all sorts of different kind of nut varieties. They have an adapted tongue that actually has a bone in it, so they can crack open all types of nuts. Pretty cool. Now, unfortunately, almost every species of macaw is endangered, so oftentimes we get asked, how can we help beautiful wildlife like the macaw? One way is by being a savvy consumer. You can use your purchasing power to help wildlife worldwide. One thing you can look for is, if you're a morning coffee drinker like everyone that works at the zoo, you can look for shade-grown coffee. This is exactly what it sounds like. It is coffee that grows in the shade canopies of the trees. One of the reasons we're losing macaw species is because we are tearing down the forest for crops that we like to consume. So by using our purchasing power, we can make sure that tree is there for them at the end of the day. Well, looks like they all hopefully flew on out of here. So once again, our colorful, free-flighted flock of macaws. All right, next up, we're going to go to our Southwest Conservation Hub, which is right here in our own backyard, where we are working with a cornucopia of different species like the Kino checkered spot butterfly, the desert tortoise, the burrowing owl, as well as plant life like the boojum and our beloved Torrey pine. Now, this next species often gets a bad reputation out where you might find them, but I am here to change your mind. Please welcome out the ever adorable, we have
Penelope,
our Virginia opossum.
A cutie patootie.
She takes her time.
She's an old lady.
She's a distinguished lady. There you go. All right, this is Penelope, and like I said, she is
spends
our
more time there than
Virginia
here.
opossum. You might hear me stress that O, and that is because that's technically how you would say it. The Virginia opossum is a native marsupial species right here in North America. If you wanted to find the possum species, that is technically a marsupial species found in Australia. So this is our only native marsupial species here in the United States or North America, meaning that females have a pouch. So Australia gets kangaroos and possums and tree possums. We get this. Be proud, everyone. This is our marsupial. Yay! Thank you. And she's cute. Now Penelope's coming in at, we think, roughly 4 years of age, which is ancient for an opossum. They live usually about 2 years of age out in their native habitat, aka your backyard. So they live really fast and really hard, and they do a lot of amazing things for human beings. One of which is they are nature's cleanup crew. They love to eat all sorts of things that we might not necessarily like. One of their favorite things to consume is a tick. They can eat up to 5,000 in a single season. So anywhere where Lyme disease might be prevalent, this is helping out right here. Awesome job. Now they are also the reason why we have anti-venom. So if you've ever heard of a human or a dog needing to be administered anti-venom because they've been bitten by a venomous snake, all because of this opossum right here. Well, not Penelope in general, but opossums. That is because they can be bitten by rattlesnakes multiple times and live to tell the tale. So we studied their blood, we found a special peptide in there, and anti-venom was derived. Pretty cool. Now, as a marsupial, Penny is a female, so she does have a pouch where she will partly raise her young. And they are amazing mothers. They will raise their young partly in the pouch and partly on their back, teaching them the right things to eat as well as the right places to go. Now, they also do this really cool thing, you've probably heard of it, playing possum. It's real, it actually does happen. Playing dead is a superpower that they have. Whenever they are scared or threatened, oftentimes it's involuntary, they will fall to the ground, they'll lower their breath rate, they'll lower their heart rate, as well as maybe have their tongue sticking out, and then they have this excretion that comes out of their backside that smells like death. So, whatever scared or threatened them hopefully thinks that they have passed away and leaves them to be. So if you ever see an opossum that kind of looks like they're out there, give it a couple minutes, see if they pop back up. That might just be what happened. They got scared and threatened and they're playing possum. Now, Penelope here, she is eating some of her favorite things while she's out here. Today I gave her some Mises Pieces, because she really likes that. Cut up nice. And she also gets a lot of different vegetable varieties. Now she's about to turn around and we can see my favorite part, that adorable little tail of hers. Now their tails are semi-prehensile, so they can use it to help them climb. Now, while she walks away, it's so cute. How could you not love that? All right, well, she did great out here for an old lady. Once again, that was Penelope, our Virginia opossum. Did I change anyone's mind?
No, I still love them.
My day is done. All right, everyone, I'm gonna hand things on over to our next care specialist, and she will introduce our next round of wildlife ambassadors. Here is Tony.
Thanks, David. Hi, everyone. How are we doing? Are we enjoying our presentation so far?
Of course, Tony.
All right. Well, we have a couple more wildlife that are going to be coming out to meet you. So we are going to head back on over to our Amazonia Conservation Hub, which our Macaws did such a great job at representing. And this next wildlife also needs those trees to survive. Not only that, he is a fan favorite here at the zoo. So please help me welcome out, very slowly, Tornero, the Linnaeus two-toed sloth. Who's excited to see a sloth today? Yeah, so he is going to be making his way on out here. Hopefully you all are getting a good look at him. Tornero is 6 years old. He is a full-grown male sloth. He was born right here at the San Diego Zoo. His mom actually lives next door at our Wildlife Explorers base camp. She is also a wildlife ambassador. Now, because she is a wildlife ambassador, we have had the opportunity to work with her and to work with Tornero at a very young age. So usually by the time sloths are ready to leave their moms at about 6 months of age, we had already established a really strong relationship with Tornero, and we were able to help him make the transfer down here to Wegeforth Bowl nice and easy. Now, I mentioned he is a Linnaeus two-toed sloth. These sloths are named after their front toes. They have 2 toes on the front, but 3 toes on the back. Now, there is a 3-toed sloth that has 3 toes on the front. Hopefully that is not too confusing there. But if you're ever not sure about what type of sloth you were looking at, you can try looking at their toes and see if you can recognize them that way. Now, speaking of toes, they have those really long claws, and you are seeing him move around utilizing those claws to help keep him nice and balanced. Now, sloths really don't have to think when they are hanging onto branches. They actually have to think to let go as they are moving through the trees or through vines here. Scientists have actually found sloths that have passed away and are still holding on to those branches. So that just goes to show how strong that reflex is here. Now, Tornero is, of course, a sloth, so he is slow moving, but he can move kind of fast when he wants to, especially if his favorite tree is at the other end of wherever he is moving to. He really likes hibiscus flowers, which Shauna is going to try. He likes the fresh ones. Shauna is going to try to offer him one right now. He also enjoys eggplant, yam, and jicama as well, but he changes every day, just like we change what we want to eat. Sometimes he doesn't want to eat certain things, but it looks like the jicama is a hit today for sure. Now, sloths are slow moving because of what they eat. Now, out in their native habitats, they aren't going to have a diet that is quite as high in calorie as he would have here. So they're mainly going to be eating leaves, stems, and buds. A lot of that vegetation doesn't have a ton of calories, so they have adapted to be slow moving. Everything about them, including their digestion, is very slow. Now, fun fact about a sloth, they come down from the trees to use the restroom about once a week. Yeah, pretty crazy. Now, sloth's hair, their fur is actually very interesting. It grows very differently than other mammals. It actually parts in the middle of their stomach and it goes down to the ground. And this helps them when they live out in those wet, humid environments out in the Amazon. So algae is actually able to grow on their fur. They kind of have a nice symbiotic relationship with algae, and that helps them camouflage into those green trees, right? Because being a sloth, they don't have a ton of defense against predators. Now, he does have those sharp claws if he needed to use them, and they do have 4 pretty sharp teeth. They have 4 canines that are very, very sharp. I was actually very surprised when I first saw them. So if they need to utilize those defenses, they can, but camouflage is pretty much going to be their best defense. Now, needing those trees to survive, we can help out sloths. You can actually look for a logo. It's called the FSC logo. I don't know if we have an example of it on our screen. Oh yeah, we do. Perfect. You can find this on wood and paper products and know that that product was harvested in a way that protects wildlife. So now I know I see them on almost everything I buy, so it's pretty cool to know that you're helping out sloths. Now, one last thing about Tornero is he does have a book written about him. It's about the first year of his life. I believe it is over at our children's gift shop if you want to check it out. It is called Teaching Tornero. It is pretty cute, and it is, of course, a true story. And with that, he may hang on out, but we can give it up for Tornero. He did great out here. He was pretty fast today. Very impressed.
He must have recently pooped.
All right, so our next wildlife ambassador should hopefully be making her way on out here pretty soon. You all can take a look at this green door right here. I don't want to give it away too much, but we'll see if you can see her. Okay, I'm hearing some oohs and ahs. Maybe you can see her. Okay, I'll introduce her. She is a North American beaver, and she has a very special name. Are you ready for it? Her name is Justine Beaver. Does anyone get that? Okay, sometimes people don't laugh, so I'm like, yes. We did not name her. We cannot take the credit for that.
More time there than here.
She was born at a different facility, but she came to live with us with that name, and I just think it's so hilarious, Justine Beaver. Now, Justine here is about 15 years old. She is, of course, a full-grown female beaver. Right now, she weighs around 40 pounds. Coming into our hotter months, she is going to be much more active than when in the winter months. They actually slow down a bit to conserve their energy, but right now with the warmer weather, we are seeing her start to be a little bit more active, so it's pretty fun here. Now, beavers are known to be the largest rodent in North America. Does anyone know the largest rodent in the world?
Crappy Barbara.
I heard it. Good job. Everyone knows that answer. Now, being a rodent, they have a couple different features that are very unique to them. The first one I like to point out is their teeth. So their teeth are very unique. They're incisors, those front teeth specifically. They continue to grow throughout their lives. So because of that, they have to chew on different things like bark and wood to help keep those teeth nice and worn down. Now, along with that, their teeth are actually in orange color. So if you're able to see a beaver up close or even look it up maybe online, there's some videos out there, you can see there is an orange coating to their teeth, and that is due to iron. So that iron is going to help keep those teeth nice and strong when they are chewing on different objects. Now, of course, being a rodent, they don't have the best eyesight. Rodents can't see very well, but they have a great sense of hearing and a great sense of smell. So as you can see, Justine is moving a little bit slowly, making sure her environment is nice and comfortable, even though she's been doing this for about 15 years.
She's like, no thanks.
She's a rodent, so she needs to make sure her surroundings are safe. Now you are getting a great look at that tail and her fur right there. So she is built for life on land as well as life in the water. Now in the water, they have all sorts of adaptations that help them. So they have a very thick waterproof fur coat, which you are seeing right now. And that tail is beautiful. It is going to help propel them through the water when they are swimming. And also their hind feet are webbed. So that also helps them swim through the water and propel themselves much quickly. Now she may take a little dip in our mode. I love that. And if they are swimming, they can hold their breath up to 15 minutes. So it is very impressive. Now on land, they are able to walk on all fours, or they're able to stand upright and use their tail to balance them. That will allow their front limbs to be loose, and they can carry different objects and branches around. It is quite cute to see. Now what are beavers known for, everyone? Does everyone know what they do? They build dams, correct, yes. And those dams actually help the ecosystems. They help other wildlife. So building dams, they're actually able to change the flow of water and create new wetlands and habitats for other wildlife. So they are vital for a healthy ecosystem. Now beavers do another thing called building lodges. So dams and lodges are two different things. The lodges are going to be where they actually live. So the lodges are very intricate. They have multiple rooms. They have a food room, a family room. That is where the beaver is going to spend their time in their homes. It is very cool. Now, along with that, they are a keystone species, meaning they are vital to ecosystems. And if we do not have the beaver around, an ecosystem could collapse entirely. And with that, I think Justine is a great reminder of how we can all play an important role in our environment, and we're just going to let her swim around our boat for a bit. But that was Justine Beaver, everyone. All right, to wrap things up here at the San Diego Zoo, we are creating a world where all life thrives through collaboration, innovation, and inspiration. Conservation is at the heart of everything we do, but we of course can't do it alone. We need dedicated allies like all of you. So you can join us here at the San Diego Zoo by becoming a member. You can volunteer your time or your knowledge, or you can even partner with us with some of our bigger conservation projects. Your help can never be understated, because when wildlife thrives, all life thrives. Thank you all so much for coming out and joining us here at Wagga Fourth Bowl. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, everyone.